Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Promoted Sandra. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to cut and sew this beautiful stylish dress. If this is something you're interested in, then keep up watching. This particular dress is the inspiration, and this one I am putting on is the one I recreated. The difference between the one I recreated and the inspiration is the neckline and also the length of the dress. So for the neckline, I decided to make use of round neck, and for the length, I decided to make use of short length. So you can go ahead and choose the one you preferred. If this is something you're interested in, then keep up watching. This is the material I'm going to be using. This material is called crepe material, and I have about 4.5 yards here. This one is pepper red color. So I'm going to be making use of 4.5 yards because of the gather around the basque waist. So if you're on a smaller size, you can go ahead and make use of 4 yards. Okay, I'm going to be making use of my pattern paper for the making of this dress. As you can see, I've already gone ahead to mark out all the necessary lines. I already have a video on the channel on how to draft a basic bodice pattern. I will advise you go watch the video in case you don't understand what is going on here. I'm just going to go ahead and explain all the lines that I mark. This first line is the starting line. So I wanted to place my tape on it. This line here is the bust point, which is 10 inches. This one is the other bust line, which is 13.5 inches. And this is the half length line, which is 60 inches. So I'll go ahead and label it. This one is the bust point, on the bust and waistline. Okay, this first line here, okay, is the chest line. This line is also called the armhole line in case you are confused. So I also wanted to mark my shoulder measurements, then I wanted to draw out the armhole. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to mark the wideness of the neckline. So I will place my tape on the starting line. I will come down by 3.5 inches. Then I will mark 3 inches for the wideness. I will go ahead and connect the points together. After marking the wideness, I will come to the bust point line. I will mark my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches. I will mark it on the waistline. I'll go ahead and connect the lines together with my pen. Then I will place my tape on the shoulder line like this. I will divide it into two. So I will just mark a point there. I will mark a slant line from that point to the bust point line like this, okay? I will go ahead and take the dart. I will place my tape on the under bust line. I will mark 1 inch inward. Then I will mark ½ inch to the side going towards the front like this. Then I will come to the waistline. I will mark ½ inch here. Then I will mark 1 inch to this side like this. So if you're on a smaller size, mark ½ inch on both sides. So I will come to this bust point line. I will come down by ½ inch like this. I will use my French curve to connect a curve line from that ½ inch I came down with to the under bust, then mark a straight line to the waistline. Then I will come to this line here like this, okay? I'm going to mark 1.5 inches upward. This depends on how close you want your upper chest line to be, okay? So I'll mark 1.5 inch upward like this. I will mark a straight line across, okay? This is the chest line, where the chest line is going to start from. I will place my tape on the line I just marked. I will mark ½ inch to the side going towards the front. Then I will mark 0.7 inches to this other side like this. So I'll go ahead and connect a curve line from this point towards the bust point. Then I also connect this other line. Then I'll go ahead and blend it here. So this part I mark is the part I'm going to be cutting out. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to impute all my body measurements. So I will divide my bust by 4. I will mark it on the chest line. Then I will come to my under bust. I will divide it by 4. I will mark it. I will divide my waistline by 4. I will mark it. So I'll go ahead and replace the dart like this. So I will measure the dart I took here, which is 1.5 inch. I will replace it. I will add 1.5 inch sewing allowance. Then I will come to the under bust. I will measure what I took there. I will replace it. Then I will add 1.5 inch sewing allowance. Please pay attention to this part. I will place my tape on this point here, this particular point here. I will measure what I have there. What I have there is about ½ inch. So I will replace it on the chest line. I will add 1.5 inch sewing allowance. Then I'll go ahead and connect the points together. Please, you need to pay attention to this part because there's something I want to explain to you guys concerning the darts on the chest line. While I was replacing the darts, so this upper chest line, this particular place, I didn't replace it. If you take notes, so you can watch the video and get to see. So there's a reason why I didn't do that. But before I explain that part, I'll go ahead and cut out my pattern paper like this. Please watch out the part I'm cutting out. I'll go ahead and cut out the chest line straight like this. Okay, just go ahead and cut it straight. I want to explain something. Then I'll go ahead and cut out the darts. So after cutting out the darts, I'll go ahead and place the center front to the side front like this. Then I will cover it up with the yoke, which is the upper part. So if you take note of the armhole, what did you notice? You see that the armhole for the chest line did not match with the armhole or the yoke. The reason for that is because of the dart we took on the chest line. Okay, so for me to replace the dart, I'll go ahead and use my seal tape to seal the breast tube down. Then I'll also go ahead and seal the yoke to the, like I would join the pattern paper together with seal tape. Then I'll place my tape on the chest line again like this. I will mark 7 inches, which is my shoulder line. So I'll go ahead and mark a straight line like this. Just watch out what I'm doing, a straight line like this. Then I will go ahead and reconnect the armhole like this. So I hope you guys now understand. So this is how to replace your darts if you are doing a breast tube with yoke. I will place my tape on the chest line like this. Okay, I will mark 1 inch inward, but later on I wanted to change it to 1.5 inch instead of 1 inch. But if you're in a smaller size, go ahead and mark 1 inch. Okay, so I just wanted to mark 1.5 inch like this. I will place my tape on this 1.5 inch I just marked like this. I will measure from this point to this other side. I will mark 3.5 inches. So once I was done with that, I'll go ahead and place my tape like this. I will divide what I have from here to here into 2. So 3.5 inches divided by 2. I will mark the midpoint like this. Then I'll place my tape on that midpoint. I will come up by 2.5 inches like this. I'll go ahead and connect these points to this point and down to this point here. So I'm going to be using my French curve to achieve this. I'll just mark a curve line like this. Then I'll go ahead and flip it like this and curve it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and smoothen these parts. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. Then I will remove the seal tape. So if you are doing this, just be careful. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the armhole like this. I will cut out the keyhole neckline on it like this. Is it keyhole? Let's know. So just go ahead and cut it out. Okay, when you are cutting out the armhole, please take note of the new place. So just go ahead and cover it up like this and place this one on top. Can you see it? I will keep this aside and I'm going to be working on the skirt part. The reason why I did cut the skirt part along the bustier, which is the upper part, is because the skirt part is not going to have that. So I'll place my tape on my pattern paper like this. I will come down by 10 inches. Okay, that is my hip line. I'll mark my hip line, which is 10 inches. I will mark it on this other side so that the lines can be straight like this. Then I will take my waistline measurement, divide by 4. I will mark it. I will add 1.5 inch sewing allowance, just like as I did for the upper part of the dress. I will divide my hip by 4. I will mark it. I will add 1.5 inch joining allowance. So I'll go ahead and connect the points together. So once I'm done connecting it, I will place my tape on the side like this, which is the hip side. Just watch out what I'm doing. I will mark 4 inches downward. Okay, just pay attention. Okay, then I'll mark a slant line from that 4 inch I came down with to the center front of the hip line like this. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out. I've gone ahead to cut it out and this is how it's going to look like. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this to cut out on my fabric. I've gone ahead to cut this out on my fabric, so I wanted to add 1/2 inch for sewing allowance around the neckline. The part where I cut, just check out the pieces. You're going to see that I added 1/2 inch both at the down, the breast tube area, the basque waist for joining allowance. I will go ahead and remove the pins from the fabric like this. After removing the pin, I will remove the pattern paper. I will just go ahead and keep the fabric like this. Okay, I will just go ahead and keep it on one side. And mind you, I wanted to cut out another one which is going to be serving as the lining. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and arrange my pattern paper like this. Okay, because I'm going to be using this to cut the back. So what I'm going to do is to go ahead and cover up the dart. Then I will use seal tape to seal it down like this. I will add the yoke to it. I will seal it down with my seal tape. If you want to draft the back part on your pattern paper, you can go ahead and do that, but just know that pattern paper is really expensive, so I'm just going to be using one stone to kittle belt. So I've gone ahead to fold my material into two. I will just place my tape on it like this. I will mark 1.5 inch inward. Okay, this part I'm marking is going to be serving as the zipper allowance, so just go ahead and mark it inward. Then I'll place the front part on it like this on the line I mark. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll go ahead and pin it down like this. After pinning it down, I will mark a straight line, okay, around the shoulder. I'll mark a shoulder line across to the fabric like this. Then I'll place my tape here like this. I will come down by 1 inch. This is going to be serving as the depth of the back neckline. So I'll go ahead and connect the neckline for the back like this. It might not be really visible, so I'll go ahead and cut it out. I will add 1/2 inch at the down while cutting it. I will not add any joining allowance at the armhole, so I'll go ahead and cut out the neckline like this. After cutting it, I'll place my tip on the down like this. So I'm going to be removing the zip bulge. I will mark 1.5 inch upward like this. Then I will mark a slant line from that point to the side like this. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out. When cutting it out, go ahead and add the 1/2 inch joining allowance. So if you check, you're going to see that I did cut through the exact line I marked. So I'll place my tape on my pattern paper like this at this down here. I will mark 1/2 inch towards the front, like I will mark 1/2 inch outward. I hope you guys understand. Then I'll go ahead and mark a slant line from that 1/2 inch I marked to the neckline, to the upper part. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out. This is how to remove zip bulge from your dress. So I've gone ahead to cut out the down side, and I added 1/2 inch joining allowance at the down and also at the waistline. So I will come to the waistline here. I will come down by 1 inch. Okay, just mark 1 inch or 1/2 inch. So I will mark a slant line from that point to that 1 inch I just marked. I'll go ahead and cut it out like this. Then I will place the skirt part to the upper part. I'll go ahead and trim out the excess around this place. Don't cut it to the down. Don't cut it straight to the down. Just go ahead and cut it out, like from that zipper area. Is the wideness for the down will still remain the same. I'll go ahead and remove the pattern paper. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to be working on is the sleeve. So I'm just going to manage my material so that it will be enough. I already have a video on how to draft a short sleeve and also a long sleeve. So these are the pattern paper. I made the video recently, so these are the pattern paper. I've not used it. So I wanted to use this long one, but I have a tutorial I want to make with this long one. I'm just going to keep this long one aside. Then I'll go ahead and splash and spread. I'm going to be using the splash and spread method for this, okay, for the sleeve of this dress. So I'll place my tape on the down side of the sleeve. I'll mark 1 inch interval like this, just 1 inch, mark 1 inch. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out from the start to the end. Just mark 1 inch, cut it out. So I'll go ahead and cut out everything. Please, when you are cutting, don't cut on top of your material so that you not mistakenly cut your material. Then I'm just going to go ahead and label it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will go ahead and remove all the pattern paper. So as you can see, my material is folded into four. So this is the first one. I wanted to fold it into two like this. Then I also wanted to fold it again, which gave me 4 pieces. So this is the center and front of the sleeve. So I'm going to be cutting the two sleeves together. So I'll place my straight ruler on it like this. I will mark a straight line across. Okay, so the downside is going to be serving as the folding allowance. So I'll go ahead and place number 1 on the line I marked. I'll go ahead and pin it down like this. I'll place my tape on this place like this at the down. I will mark 1 inch like this. So this is going to be the space interval. I will place number 2 on it. Then I'll mark it. I'll mark another 1 inch again. I'll place number 3 on it. I'll mark another 1 inch. I'll place number 4 on it. I'm going to pin it down, but I just want to measure it just to see if the material is going to be enough. So I'm going to measure 1 inch interval. So the last one was not enough, as you can see. So I'll just go ahead and pin it down like this. I'll manage the material. Then I'll go ahead and connect all the points together at the top like this. I'm not going to be using the short sleeve length, okay? The length is too short. So what I'm going to be doing is this. I'll go ahead and place my tape at the top of number 1 like this. I will measure from this point to the up. Whatever I have, I will measure it round. So what I have is 2 inches. I will just mark 2 inches like this, okay, to the armhole area. I will just mark it down. Then after marking it, I'll go ahead and cut it out, okay? So instead of passing through this process, just go ahead and draft the length of your sleeve, or you can also use this method. So I'll go ahead and remove the pins. In case you watch to this extent and you've not liked or comment, please do well to like and comment. This will help YouTube to recommend my video to more people who are interested in learning how to cut and sew these styles to see, okay? Also subscribe in case you've not subscribed. So guys, it's time to start sewing it, okay? So as you can see, I went ahead to cut out 2 pieces of the upper part, and also for the breast tube I went ahead to cut out two pieces, and also for the back. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is to join the breast tube together like this. So if you are working with a fabric that has both back and front, make sure the right sides are both facing each other. I'll go ahead and pin it down just like you can see me doing. Then I'll go ahead and pin the other side, okay? After I was done pinning it, I will take it to the same machine. I will sew it with 1/2 inch like this. Then I'll go ahead and sew the other side. I will do the same thing for the lining, okay? So this is the upper part, the yoke. So I have 2 pieces of fabric here joined together. I will go ahead and pin it together, okay? But one thing I observed is this space here is too wide, so I'm just going to go ahead and minus from that wideness. I'll place my tape on it like this. I will just mark the center. I will fold my tape into 2. I will mark the center like this. Then from that center I will mark 1 inch to the left, and I will mark 1 inch to the right. So when you are cutting it on your pattern paper, instead of using 1.5 inch, make use of 1 inch, okay? So I will just go ahead and use my French curve to reconnect it again. I'm going to be cutting off this part, so I'll go ahead and reconnect the other side. So don't make this mistake. Go ahead and use 1 inch. So I'll take it to the same machine. I will sew it around like this with 1/2 inch. I will sew the other side like this with 1/2 inch. Then I will sew the neckline like this. So this is the skirt part. I have 2 pieces here as well. So I'll place it together like this. I will pin the sides. I will take to the same machine. I will sew it with 1/2 inch. I will sew this part. So I'll also go ahead and lining the back as well. I will join it together. I will pin it down. I will take it to the sewing machine. I will sew the neckline with 1/2 inch. I will sew this other side. I will sew the zipper side. I will sew the side like this. So I will do the same thing for the other one, okay? Then this is the skirt part for the back as well. I'll go ahead and pin it. I will sew the side like this, like this, like this, and like this. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it. After sewing it, I went ahead to turn it to the front, then iron it. After I was done ironing it, I went ahead to join the armhole together, okay? I just wanted to stitch it down together. I also went ahead to sew the breast tube, and I also did the same thing for the lining. This is the skirt part. I went ahead to sew the side, turn it to the front, then stitch down the waistline I also wanted to stitch down this side, and I did the same thing for the back of the dress. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and fold the breast tube into two. I will notch the center. I will also go ahead and fold the yoke into two. I will notch the center as well. I will also do the same thing for the lining. So what I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and open up the yoke like this and the breast tube. So I will place the yoke on it like this, middle meeting the middle. Okay, I will pin the center together like this. Then I will arrange the armhole area, the sides like this. After arranging it, I'll go ahead and remove the center pin. I will place the lining on it like this, notch the center of the lining as well. So make sure the right sides are both facing each other while the yoke will be inside. I hope you guys saw how I arranged it. Then I'll go ahead and pin it down like this. So take your time, arrange it and pin it. So after pinning it, I will take it to the sewing machine. I will sew it with 1/2 inch like this. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it, and this is how it look like. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing next is to take it to the sewing machine and top stitch on it. So I'll flip everything to one side. I will sew it. Okay, so you can use any side as the front and the back. So I'll go ahead and stitch the side as well. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it, and this is how it look like. I turned it to the front and iron it. Okay, and I also wanted to stitch down the downside. So what I'm going to be doing is to cut out the excess around the armhole area like this. So what I'm going to be doing next is to go ahead and join the skirt part and the top together. As you can see, you're going to see that the skirt part and the top is the same length. Okay, no one is longer than each other. So I'll go ahead and pin it down like this. After pinning it, I will take it to the same machine and sew it with 1/2 inch. Then I will do the same thing for the back as well. I will notch the center of the back because this one was longer than one. The skirt part was longer than the top. Okay, then pin it down. I will take to the same machine. I will sew it. I will do the same thing for the other one as well. So guys, I've gone ahead to stitch it down, and this is how it look like. I wanted to iron it as well. This is the back part. I wanted to stitch it down and iron it as well. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and place the right side of the back to the other side of the back. I will mark the zipper allowance. So I will mark 1 inch at the top and 1/2 inch at the waistline. I will measure where I want the zip to end. So from that point, I will mark 1 inch inward. I will connect it to the waistline. Okay, then I will go ahead and pin it down just like as you can see me doing. So I will just mark this space here. I will take it to the same machine. So in this place I'm marking, I'll go ahead and stitch it down. Okay, so guys, I've gone ahead to stitch it down. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and sew the zip on it, but the color of the zip and the material is not the same. So I will just go ahead and pin it down, then go ahead and buy another zip before sewing it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and shaping the dress. So I will place the back on the front like this. I will pin the shoulder together like this, and I will pin the other side of the shoulder together. I will stitch it down. I will stitch it down. Then I'll go ahead and shaping the dress. Okay, so go ahead and shape it the way you normally shaping your dress. So I've gone ahead to shaping it, and also went ahead to iron it out, and this is what I have. So after turning this to the back, I realized that the back part was shorter than the front. The front was longer. The reason for that was as a result of the bulge manipulation I did. Okay, remember when I was drafting it, I minus to 1.5 inch from the upper part and 1/2 inch from the skirt part. So once you are done removing all of those things, I will advise you add the length back to the skirt. I made the downside of the skirt, but I'm going to be making a video to correct that. Okay, maybe on a separate video after manipulating the that and all that. I will show you guys how to replace it. I will go ahead and cut out the excesses at this zipper area. Then I will cut out the excess at the front. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be working on is the sleeve. So I'll go ahead and open up the sleeve like this. I will fold it down into two, just like the same way you fold your wrapper. I'm going to be inserting elastic on this sleeve, so I'll go ahead and fold it. Then I will gather the top, okay, like this. After I was done with the gather, this is how it look like. So what I'm going to be doing next is to go ahead and turn the dress to the back like this. Then I will open it up. I will fold the sleeve into two. I will place the gather side on the armhole of the dress just to be sure that the gather is going to be enough. So after I was done with the measurements, I realized that it's not going to be enough. So what I wanted to do was to go ahead and expand it more, okay? I wanted to loosen it up more. Then after I was done with that, I wanted to fold it into to notch the center. So I'm going to be pinning the center to the center of the armhole. After I was done with the pinning, I will take it to the sewing machine. I will sew it like this, and I will sew the other side. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it. This is how it look like. I already have a lot of videos on the channel on how to make puff sleeve, so you can go check it out. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and work on the downside, this part. So to do that, I've gone ahead to cut out this long piece of fabric, which I'm going to be using for the gather. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure it so that you guys will know the total length I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so I have 4 yards and about 18 inches, okay? So I'll go ahead and measure the wideness, okay? So from the starting here down to the length of the skirt is 26 inches, okay? I have about 26 inches. I will take it to the sewing machine. I'll go ahead and gather it, okay? So guys, this is me gathering it. If you know you've been watching this video, you've not liked, comment and subscribe, please do well to do so, okay? And also I now have a WhatsApp group for fashion designers. If you're interested in joining our cutting and sewing tutorials group, check the comment section and also the description section for the link. Send me DM on WhatsApp, okay? The link is at the comment section and description section. So let's continue. So once I was done, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and remove the pin around the zipper area. Okay, remember I pinned it down before. So I'll go ahead and remove the pin. Then I'll go ahead and measure what I have. I will place my tape like this. I'll go ahead and measure it from one end to the other. So what I have here is 48 inches. Then I'll go ahead and measure the gather, okay? So what I have here is 48 inches and extra 40 inches. That is much. So I'll go ahead and tighten up the gather, okay, with the rope. I'll just go ahead and tighten it up until I have 48 inches. So once I was done with that, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and fold it into two, then notch the center. I will also go ahead and fold the dress into two like this. I will notch the center. Then I'll go ahead and open up the dress. I will place the skirt part on it like this, right side facing each other. The front side of the gather skirt must be facing the front side of the dress. Go ahead and pin it together. So I will pin the middle together like this. Then I will pin it to the left. Then I also pin it to the right. After pinning it, I will take it to the sewing machine. I will sew it with 1/2 inch like this. Then I'll also go ahead and pin this other side and sew it. I've gone ahead to sew it, and this is how it look like. So there's something I want to explain this part. Once you are done sewing your gather to your basque waist gown, so you will notice that the lengths are not equal at the downside. The side is going to be higher while the center back is going to be lower because of the V at the front and the back. So for me, I don't want that for myself. I want the length to be equal. So you can also leave your own like that, no problem. But me, I want mine to be equal. So what I wanted to do was to place my tape on the shoulder of the dress. I wanted to mark the full length of the gown I'm working with, which is 42 inches. And I added 1 inch for folding allowance. So I wanted to mark it on the other side. Then I will go ahead and use my French curve to mark a straight line across. So once I'm done marking it, I'll go ahead and cut it out. After cutting it, I'll go ahead and fold it down, okay? So I'll fold it like this. I will fold it again, just like the same way you fold your wrapper. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it, and this is how the dress look on me. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Please do well to like, comment. This really helped my algorithm a lot. Follow me on Instagram at official promoted Sandra, Facebook promoted Sandra, TikTok official promoted Sandra, and also subscribe to my second YouTube channel, Omohai Sandra. See you on my next video. Bye.